Or lease in the morning.
Turn it up.
Hello and welcome to the NoScope 2 Northwest Esports Tournament. We're here live at the Northwest Esports main venue, and we have two teams here. Matches were originally played over at the Seattle Home Show, and the finals are being played here tonight on Northwest Esports Twitch. So welcome, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. We have two teams over here. We have from the Ashes, and we have Oleg's Money Crew. Now, these teams, there were 5 teams that played, 250 for each team for admission, and the first team is going to walk away with a cool 700, and then the next team will be walking away with 300, so a little bit more than money back, which is excellent for a tournament. Any of the stats and demos that you guys wish to see will be available at nwes.gg. You'll be able to log in with your Steam account there, create a profile, and be able to get all the sorts of stats, matches, upcoming events, gear, equipment, any sort of sponsor stuff. So there are things on there from like Pluggable. You can get Northwest Esports apparel. I have a fantastic hat here. That was custom colored. So yeah, the matches are played on Northwest Esports 128 tick servers, and they're picking through a active duty map pool right now. So all the players are in the server right now. They're picking maps, and so far they have picked Mirage to be the first map. So that should be an excellent matchup. I've played with quite a few of these people in my history in Counter-Strike. My history in Counter-Strike, by the way, I am What the Stuck. I've been playing Counter-Strike for about 12 years now. I think I have a 12-year badge on Steam, and I am a shortish time streamer. I've been streaming for a couple of years now. Counter-Strike has been a really big influence in my life, and the owner of Northwest Esports, Jake Green, has been with me pretty much the whole way. So I'm happy to be here and supporting his company. If you guys get a chance, come over to my channel and take a look at What the Stuck. All right, welcome back, guys. So we have Mirage here for the first map, as I said. This map definitely has become the iconic map for Counter-Strike. Dust 2 back in the 1.6 days and even early Counter-Strike Go days, Dust 2 was kind of the main map, but it seems as the meta has changed as everyone has become more familiar and more interested in playing Mirage. There's a lot of meta that can be done with controlling mid, a lot of different smokes that can be thrown from many different angles, so there's so many different ways to play this map. And it's going. So we have decided the teams, we've decided the maps, and so we're going to start the knife round here pretty soon. If you guys are new to Counter-Strike, there's a lot of different nuances and things that you can do with this. First and foremost, everyone probably knows that there's a lot of skins that can be done, so this is a chance for everyone to show off their fancy dancy knives and stuff. And looks like the sides have already been chosen, so we're gonna go ahead and start live here with From the Ashes on the CT side. So traditionally, these maps are set up where you'll play 2 people on one bomb site, 2 people at the other, and then 1 person kind of controlling middle. But Mirage is a little bit different because there are so many avenues for its middle that can be done. So we have a setup here where we're actually going to have two CTs over on mid, with Blur watching the A site. He ends up getting a headshot from down middle, takes him down to 19 HP. Block is terrible at long range, but can definitely get some good hits off. Looks like the terrorists have easily been able to take over the A site with coming up through middle, but MJC ends up getting a frag on what seems to be the bomb planter, so that's going to hold them back for a little bit, which will be nice. Coming up through the connector here. the 2v2, MJC and Atlas. Atlas has been taken out by Ike, so it's going to be MJC in a 1v1 situation with a bomb down. So it's going to be planted here. He's going to have to hurry. Doesn't look like he has a kit.
First kit, Dane. Smoke crack.
Creeping around this corner here. Let's see where Ike is going to be. Hopefully he's... all right, and Ike gets the headshot onto MJC. So the first round goes to the terrorist side. CTs will get 1,400 for their money. So we'll see if they end up deciding to force buy or end up saving for the next couple of rounds. It's always good for the counter-terrorists to, save if they lose the first round, because their equipment is so much more expensive. They need to buy more grenades, and they can luckily not spend money on head armor because most of the time the terrorists will have AKs, but yeah, they need more utility with grenades and buying kits. Kits are really expensive for the counter-terrorists, so saving their money is going to be probably the best option, but they may choose to buy up some better pistols and see if they can get a round out of them. And looks like we're on a pause here for technical difficulties. Looks like one of the terrorists have exited the server for one reason or another, so we're gonna go ahead and try to wait for them to hop back in. If you guys have participated in any of the Northwest esports LANs, or if you want to be a donator or participate for their things, you can go to donate.nwes.gg, and you'll be able to donate some of your hard-earned dollars to help somebody try to earn their hard-earned dollars. So these events are always going. There's an event next month in Oregon that there's going to be the NoScope 3 tournament, and every time these events end up bringing in a lot more people. So definitely keep an eye out for that. There's also BYOC LANs that happen every month here at the Northwest Esports headquarters. So you can pay a small fee and come bring your computer, meet some people, and play some Counter-Strike or whatever. All right, it looks like he's back in the server now, so we can get this game underway. Thanks for being patient. Again, my name is What the Stuck, and you are watching the NoScope 2 LAN final or online finals for Northwest Esports. So terrorists had won the first round, so they've opted to buy a couple of SMGs, an AK, and a couple of other rifles. So they should have a fair advantage. Counter-terrorists have elected to save. We got a taser here on Ray, so that could potentially net him a frag really easily, given the proximity of the taser. And it looks like the terrorists are going to easily take over middle. Counter-terrorists look like they're stacking on, like on the A site. And Insaniac pushes through window, is able to get an easy frag onto MJC, pushing around over to the A site. And the terrorists are just spread all over the map. Excellent map control by them. And that's another round for the terrorists. Alright, so we got actually quite a few bullpups here over on CT side. That's interesting. The AUG usually was not a good rifle choice until a couple of months ago, or I suppose it was about a year ago now, that they adjusted a lot of the Counter-Strike stuff, which is it's now a much more viable weapon. Like the terrorists are going to be pushing an aggressive push over on the B bomb site. Insaniac jumping through a window, sees a guy, doesn't end up getting him, but does get the guy in the middle of the site. MJC with 2 excellent frags over onto Kaplan, and then it'd be like that, ends up getting a trade onto him. Ray with a nice headshot, and then traded by Dragon Dog. Blur and Key in a 2v2 situation with the bomb planted in the B site. Blur ends up pushing through. He's checking back behind bench and ends up getting his head taken off by Ike. He with a couple of op shots off, giving away his position, and ends up getting taken out by Ike in the side. So good try for the counter terrorist there, but we're not able to commit. That op was picked up and given over to Insaniac, who had a Mac 10 previously, so we'll see what he can do with that. And counter-terrorist will opt to save another round. No kits over on the terrorist side, so hoping for frags on all ends. And the terrorists are going to be hitting A site. So he actually gets a really nice shot on it'd be like that. Kaplan ends up getting a trade onto him and Blur at the same time. Ray taking out Kaplan, and Dragon Dog taking out Ray, so it puts Atlas in a 1v3 situation, but couldn't commit over to Insaniac, who had that op from the previous round. Nice try by them, couple of frags, getting their economy down a little bit lower, so keeping the terrorists honest a little bit. Insaniac is running away with a little bit of that money from the second round, from all the frags that he got. The SMGs, if you didn't know, give them a bit more money to be able to use. And what a beautiful smoke! He's going to use that to smoke out the connector area, and they'll be able to get an A hit, so the people on Cat won't be able to see through them. Ray ends up getting a really nice op shot off, takes him down to a 3v4 situation. Kaplan taking his time, trying to make sure that all the angles are taken care of. He gets taken out through the smoke by Insaniac. Excellent op shot by him. And Atlas and MJC with a double frag. So that puts Insaniac into a 3v1 situation. He ends up dropping the op for an AK. See what he can do with this. There's still a minute 5 left in the round, so he's got plenty of time to be able to try to at least get one frag, obtain the bomb, and get that bomb. He's already got the bomb, so all he's got to do is get a couple of frags, clear it out, and plant that bomb. Now, if anyone can do it, Insaniac definitely can. I've seen this guy play in many tournaments, some that I've participated in myself, and he is an excellent player. Young pup that's been playing for a while, played with quite a few of my friends, and has definitely made a name for himself in the Northwest scene. Taking cautious peeks out, making sure not to make any noise. Walking on ladders is very important. Be able to not make footsteps. And a fake bomb plant with 20 seconds left. Good choice, especially in a 3v1 situation, but ends up overexposing himself and getting taken out by Atlas over on the CT range. Good try by him. Excellent teamwork by the CTs there, not pushing him one by one and kind of peeking all at once to be able to make sure that he didn't get that bomb down. So good job for them. Pretty standard smoke right there. Ends up blocking off the catwalk so the person in mid can get an op peek, which Ike is going to take care of right now. Ray protecting himself over on the window so he can probably cross back over so as to not get hit by that op shot. Good choice by them. Seems like middle control is going to be really important for the terrorists. He ends up getting taken out through the smoke from it be like that. Ike watching the catwalk over there. Insaniac gets a nice AK frag over in the B tunnels. So that's going to open up B for Ike to be able to push through catwalk and hopefully get into the site. Atlas is going to push through that smoke. Very bold move. But he does know that the team is not there yet. But Insaniac does get that frag over from bench. So unfortunate for Atlas, but excellent choice by him. Ray is going to opt to save that op, which is also a good choice, and Ike is there to take him out, unfortunately. So good effort by the CTs, but the terrorists with that frag from Insaniac over in B halls was just a fantastic opener for them to be able to take that. Now, in my opinion, if so a very nice quick round by the terrorists there. Let's see what the counter terrorists can do in the face of these AKs now. Great shot by Key. Headshot on it be like that. Like they got a pretty good mid setup. Looks like the counter terrorists have kind of found their number. Terrorists have been taking control of middle a lot. So see if they can keep that a little bit on their toes. Atlas with an excellent frag onto Dragon Dog. Tried to creep out of the B tunnels. Now, they don't have a smoke there for jungle, so that's going to be a bad decision for them. MJC is going to capitalize on that and be able to get a frag onto Kaplan. Terrorists are out of utility, and they're going to try to obtain this 2v4, and Saniac does get a frag onto MJC, but Atlas is able to trade him, and Ray gets a headshot onto Ike to take that round. So good job on them. Like I said, utility is so important, especially on the counter-terrorist side. Looks like the terrorists had spent a lot of their utility in the beginning of the round trying to fake and take their middle, so they didn't have a lot to take care of on A side. So keeping your smokes, keeping your mollies, very important, especially when trying to take a site or push people out of their area. Counter-terrorists are struggling a little bit with their economy, so they're not going to have very much utility, and it looks like Blur opting to only play with the Deagle, so even though they won a round, it's going to be a tough decision for them. And a great shot by Key peeking into Palace hallway. Gonna take another peek there. He did see two of them, so there's the other one. Excellent play by Key. And a third. Fantastic shots by Key. See if he can get that fourth frag. Teammate did call him. He did see him, so excellent. A 4K for Kai there. Fantastic play by him. Risky to be able to take that Palace peak, but that definitely paid off for him in spades, so good play by Kai. Excuse me. Like an aggressive B push is going to be coming out of the side. Worked for them in the past couple of rounds, so let's see if Atlas can hold it down here. And Ike comes out barreling, and MJC ends up getting a 2-frag spray. Kaplan taking out MJC, and then Kai is there to get the trade with the op shot on there. 2v3 situation. Guys from A are rotating over to B as we speak. Now the counter-terrorists still have quite a bit of utility, so they should be able to retake this really easily. Saniac capitalizing on the deep tunnels pushes, and Ray gets a great op shot onto Insaniac. 4-6. Terrorists are up. As far as maps are concerned, Mirage is considerably T-sided. and people could argue that counter-terrorists given the proper play style, can have the advantage, but most of the time people agree that this is a terrorist-sided map. Unless you ask VP fans. VP takes care of monsters pretty well. The terrorists are actually going to have to be put on a save round here, but I wouldn't discount them thus far. They've got deagles and some body and head armor, so they still have a chance to get this down. And even if they get the bomb plant, that'll be definitely effective for them. Dragon Dog with an excellent deagle shot onto MJC, who overextends and peeks. Ray ends up getting a headshot off on him as well.
Where are my shots go? We got D.
And the counter-terrorists seem to be falling apart on this. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that you can make on counter-terrorist side is peeking 1v1, because the terrorists will usually have the advantage. So you don't want to overextend, and you don't want to push those places that the bomb cannot be planted, especially without another teammate. And that definitely destroys the money for the CT side. Not a lot of big rifles on there, not a lot of utility. Kaplan ends up getting a peek out on Blur, and he punishes him for it. Again, the counter-terrorists are having a hard time with that constant terrorist mid-aggression. Like bomb is mistakenly been left back near spawn, but Insaniac doesn't give a care. He pushes through and ends up getting MJC in the head through the smoke. If you guys are interested, again, we have nwesports.org, where you can get a lot of information for upcoming events and apparel and all sorts of other things. Northwest Esports. It's nwesports.org. Insaniac with the final kill onto Kai. Gives terrorists 8 rounds. Now, hopefully the counter-terrorists can pick up a couple more rounds here. That'll be definitely integral for them. Most of the time people are, if they don't have a good setup on CT side, chances are they're going to be a bit more effective on T side, just having that proper aggression. Like a fake smoke over onto B, or into the middle, so the terrorists can push into A easily. And this round is pretty much over. We'll see if Atlas can pick up a frag at least on one person, and he does. Insaniac goes down. He can't get the second frag on Kaplan, unfortunately. And the terrorists are just kind of running away with their economy right now. 10k over on Ike, so that's going to be rough